talking about the major decisions that could be taken by. I'll just move fast since some of you may not have heard what I was talking. So from here, I'm going to discuss it again. So the question here in front of us is why management needs cost information. The first factor is for determination. Can you hear now? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. So the
Yes.
first factor which we need to consider is for taking decision, because when you have cost information with you, you can determine, you can analyze your current position to take various controlling measures. So that's what cost information helps the management for deciding on various situations and for effective control of the cost, because cost data on a regular basis, so that help you to control the cost incurrent, or it may be that your cost the company performance is not going as per you planned. So in that case, that controlling factor can be brought in through efficient cost information. And I was talking about the revenue decisions that could be taken through cost decisions. There are mainly three revenue decisions which can be taken through cost information. First one is the pricing decision. At what price a product should be brought, a product or a service should be brought to the market. That is first factor which we need to consider. Suppose if I have to price my product acceptable to the market as well as acceptable to my profit expectation, I really have to know what is the cost associated with manufacturing that particular product. So that is why we say that cost information helps the management in making one of the primary revenue decision, that is pricing of a product. Right. Now, the second one is regarding the product mix. Product mix is nothing but in my existing product line or in my existing line of products, there can be some products which are performing well in the market when I consider the revenue factor. But at the same time, some products may not be performing so good in the market. So I will have to decide upon those products which are performing well, and I might have to eliminate those products which do not have good acceptability in the market. Same is the case where some of the products I might find it very difficult to procure raw materials to carry on with its production at the right mode. So it will be difficult for me if I concentrate my production on those products. So I will have to take up the decision of eliminating that product from my product line. There can be a situation where the raw material cost of some of the products are shooting so high in such a way that I am not in a position to go with that product at the existing price. I will have to revise the price of that product in order to get the desired level of profit. All these decisions can be taken based on the cost information and the market performance information. That is why we say that cost information also helps in deciding about the product mix for a company. Now, the third one, it talks about the relationship between profit volume. See, how far I am able to make profit is something which is decided by the quantity which I can sell in the market. Suppose if my margin is too thin, my profit margin is too thin, in that case, I have to sell large volume in the market. But if my profit margin is big, it is not compulsory for me to sell maybe the large volume, but I have to concentrate on my the existing sales which is happening in the market. So depending upon the profit volume relationship, I can decide how should be my marketing strategy, right? So that also can be decided if I know my cost associated with a particular product or service very accurately and on a timely basis. That again is considered to be one of the management decision that could be taken with the help of cost information. Right. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yes, miss.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now going ahead, we were talking about the cost information and manage.
Wait,
Okay. Thank you. We were talking about the cost information and how it is helping management. The next important factor is management can formulate efficient policies. Now, how does this happen? See, when I know that, okay, these things are happening like this within my firm for a period, because cost information are maintained regularly in a systematic way, it could be taken, it could be used for formulating policies within an organization. Maybe policies regarding the creditors, policies regarding the debtors, policies regarding the supply of raw materials, or maybe you can formulate the policies regarding the labor workforce. All these can be done looking at the cost information. Along with, it's not that only cost information is not needed for taking these, but cost information contributes significantly towards formulating policies and plans. Because if I'm not sure with what is the actual figure which is connected with each of these activities within my organization, I may not be able to formulate the policies correctly. So that is why we say that cost information contributes significantly towards formulating policies and plans within an organization. Then the next one, all of us know that budget can be prepared. There are two ways. Okay, one is you can just simply prepare a budget as if you are starting a business for the first time. Such type of budgets, we call that a zero-based budget. You don't have any base for preparation of that. That happens when the current happenings, when you cannot predict with some kind of surety what is going to happen in the next few months. All right. But normally, budgets and standards are set based on the previous performance. So cost accounting helps in providing information, cost information regarding the previous performance. Now, why do we need that? For controlling our future actions. So that is why we say that budgets and other standard costing techniques are something which are used by management for taking effective control of the activities in a firm. So cost accounting information, or the information which is being provided by the cost accounting department, which can be used by the management or the administrative body for preparation of the budgets or setting up standards to have a better and effective control management system within an organization. So these are the basic supporting system that could be developed by having an efficient costing department, cost accounting department within an organization. Right? Any doubt regarding this? Anyone? Can I move ahead?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I'm moving ahead. Now, yesterday also we had our discussion how far this, or how can we distinguish between cost accounting and financial accounting. As I said earlier, cost accounting is meant for mainly for taking internal decision regarding, maybe going with a particular activity, resourcing a particular, maybe with the connection, the labor, or it can be with the procurement of materials. Likewise, the internal decisions. But when we look from the angle of financial accounting, the primary responsibility is providing financial information to the external stakeholders. External stakeholders can be our creditors, can be our financial analysts, can be our government bodies, can be also the shareholders or prospective investors who would like to invest in our company. So basically, that's why the financial accounting information are published. For a listed company, it is mandatory that it has to go with publication of its financial statements, that is profit and loss account, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So why? Because the external investors or the stakeholders need to take decision regarding whether to go with this, whether to invest in this firm, depending upon its financial position. So financial accounting is meant for mainly, it does not mean that such information is not guiding the principles and policies within a firm for its management. It is definitely. Suppose if you are finding that your profit margin is decreasing on a daily basis, you will take immediately measures within the firm for controlling that, for guiding that. But primarily, financial accounting data is supplied to the external stakeholders, right? That is the second point, which talks about preparation of the financial statements based on GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, right? I've just put in box, how do you distinguish between? So the nature, when we talk about the nature here, it is the principle is historical accounting method is mainly practiced when we go with preparation of financial statements. So when we go with preparation of financial statements, we actually record the accounting transactions in the chronological order. Then at the end of a particular period, we prepare the financial statements. Then we take up a decision based on that. But that is very rare in case of cost accounting information. If we have to have some kind of control, costing information is used on a daily basis. It is done on a daily basis to take the corrective measures, right? So that is why we say that cost involved in product and service, it can be the production cost, it can be the cost involved in providing services, but the controlling aspect is included on a daily basis. Then, as I said earlier, the primary users of financial accounting information are external stakeholders, whereas in case of cost accounting, it is internal stakeholders. Then the accounting system, we know that in financial accounting, we follow the double entry system, right? At least for in our system, we use the double entry system. It is not mandatory with respect to cost accounting or costing department. They can follow a method, but generally, in order to have some kind of understanding between the financial statements and the cost accounting statements, most of the firms go with following the double entry concept and principles, but it is not mandatory. It is not always mandatory to go with the double entry system in case of cost accounting. Go ahead. When we talk about the accounting principles, we use generally accepted accounting principles with respect to financial accounting, but there is no compulsory norm to go with that in cost accounting aspects, right? Analysis of profit, we go with net profit as well as the financial position of a company when we look at financial statements. But here it is for the firm as a whole. We are not looking as for one, maybe for better control we look for one department for one activity, but that generally happens with the cost accounting department. We don't go with the firm as a whole, because if you go with the macro perspective looking into the firm as a whole, it will not be able to bring narrow control within the organization. That is why we might be splitting that into maybe each product, maybe each service, or maybe different departments: accounting department, marketing department, selling and distribution department, R&D department. We look into different departments and then their cost accumulation for bringing up better control. That's why it is generally towards a particular activity or towards a particular product, or it can be towards a particular department, or maybe even towards a particular location. Say, for example, you might be looking at one location where the production is happening. You might be having 2 or 3 locations for the production process. So each production location is taken separately for better control of the cost. So that with respect to analysis of profit. Now going with unit of measurement, it's as we know, when we started learning financial accounting, we said that anything that can be put into money terms only will be brought under the general purview of financial accounting, right? So that concept is being followed, even though there are different variations like human resource accounting. Then it's coming up, forensic accounting. There are different category of or maybe new revisions in the existing branch of financial accounting, but still the basic term remains same. Anything that can be expressed in terms of money only will be brought into the financial accounting concept. But when we look from the cost accounting term, other than money terms, many other factors are being considered, like the number of hours being considered with each labor or labor hours, number of hours a machine had been put to work, All these things also will be considered when we go with decision of cost information, like how many hours work for that particular machine for producing this particular product, the wear and tear that is caused by working for 10 hours. So we go with these things also along with the cost information, along with those in money terms, right? So that is why there is slight difference in the treatment of items in financial accounting and cost accounting, right? Then when we talk about the time span, we can remember when we prepare a profit and loss account, we often say that from profit and loss account from so and so date to that date, right? So we are expressing a period. When we prepare the financial position, we say that it is a snapshot. So we say as on 31st March 2020, we express that. So the time is very important when we talk about the financial statements. But when we talk about the cost accounting, it's generally on a regular basis. As and when you need a cost control, wherever you need a cost control, you will start looking into the cost accounting figures. You will prepare the records. You will prepare the statements just to give information, because cost is such that it requires control regularly at every spot. It's not that at the end we have to go with looking into what is the cost incurred for a particular level of product or maybe activity. So that is why we say that the control is done on a regular basis. Since we need a regular control, we also prepare as and when we need, depending upon that particular situation. That is why there is little difference in the preparation of these statements also when we compare between financial accounting and cost accounting, right? In a nutshell, when I'm talking about the primary difference between cost accounting and financial accounting lies in the users it is meant for. All the difference arises from that factor. Because if I have to decide about going with investment in a particular company, or supplying of goods to a particular company, or lending to a particular company as the role of a debtor, in that case, I will have to know the financial position of that company. For me to decide upon the financial position, if somebody gives, okay, this is the debt and or this is the liability of this company as on this date, immediately I will ask, give me your performance for a quarter or for an year for me to take up a decision. So that is why for financial accounting, generally a quarter or a period or an annual report is needed. Whereas in cost accounting, what we look into is what is the cost associated with this particular product? How is my cost factor doing on a regular basis? What is the current cost of raw material? What is the current cost of employing a labor, employing maybe a group of employees in my firm for a particular activity, maybe for a particular project? So that is why, depending upon that need, there is difference between cost accounting information and financial accounting information, which you know that because financial accounting you've already learned. Cost accounting is something which you are learning now, right? And when we look from the perspective of a cost accountant, generally cost accountant will be performing the following role. As we said from the first class itself, he would be looking at what is the material cost. If it's a manufacturing firm, okay, what is my cost associated with procurement and utilization of material? What is my cost associated with procurement and employment of labor in my organization? And also what is my other expenses which is which is happening along with the activities within my firm? So a cost accountant will be taking care of all these. Maybe in a cost accounting department, you will have different departments. It's not that one person is looking into all of it. But for an entrepreneur, he would be looking into all this. Maybe very few staff here within an organization. If it is a small firm, of course, one or two people will be looking up the entire aspect. But if it is a big firm, each of this will be a separate department. You will have purchase department. Maybe you will have a sales department. Maybe you will have another procurement department, requisition department. All these would be separate department. Then recruitment department, planning and organizing department. All these, will be separate department. Research and development department, all these would be separate department, and you will be looking at the cost factor, right? But basically that will be function of a cost accountant. And then of course on a daily basis, to have a better control, the control factor is dependent on cost information. So accumulation of cost, collection of cost on a daily basis is also one of the role performed by a cost accountant. Then of course there would be some other department who are exclusively looking at bringing at new products, maybe innovation in the existing product line, maybe arriving at a better service, all these. So they are actually looking into that factor. So there also the cost accountant would be having a role looking at what is a cost which is associated with that innovation, which would be a deciding factor when in future when you're deciding about the price of that particular product, right? And of course, as I said, controlling is one of the function. Now how is this control being done? Maybe you have a data in front of you, you will identify the deviation from that set standard, you will communicate that to the concerned department, actions would be taken accordingly. So that is why controlling is another function of cost accountant. And of course new product, that we already explained, it would be a repetition if I again say the same thing. When you are going with a new product line, when you're going with production of a new product, when you're going with rendering a new service in the market, you will look into, or you have to know what is the additional cost. We will be learning another term in the near future called as marginal costing technique, which talks about the additional cost incurred for a particular activity. So those factors also remain as one of the function of cost accountant, at identifying the additional cost incurred in a firm due to a new production activity, due to a new product being included in the production activity, because of inclusion of a new service category within the organization. All that would be taken care by the cost accounting department, and that is part of role of a cost accountant. So these are the general functions that would be performed by a cost accountant. Now there is only one more thing, but I'll stop here. I'll stop with this slide, which is just a repetition. So just to ensure that we are having a good cost accounting system within a firm, these are the key ingredients that should be present. One is there should be efficient classification and subdivision of costs. That is what I gave as an assignment to you. You have to know what are the categories of cost. We had little discussion at the beginning of the class, but next class you will come up with different classification of costs. So a efficient cost accounting department will have a proper classification of cost based on its point of incurrence, right? So that is one of the function of an efficient cost accounting department. Then of course the primary task of keeping a record of all these costs is controlling. So the system will be having an efficient control system, continuous control system. It's not one time I say that, see the cost of this particular product is shooting up, we don't end it, we don't end our control with that. We will keep the communication to that particular department, they will take the necessary step, we will go back and check whether that was effective, whether there is a control within the system which is brought in through that measure. If not, again further policies need to be adopted to control it, right? So that is one of the primary essential ingredient of a good cost accounting system within a firm. Of course, business policies. See, our decisions are based on choices available to you. We have many alternative methods of finalizing a decision, right? One of the method is looking into the cost factor and taking up a decision. So there would be efficient policies which can facilitate in decision making, right? So cost accounting should provide correct, accurate and timely information for taking business policies, right? Then every cost accounting department will go with a budget. There are different categories of budget which we will learn in the next semester. As I said, we will be learning how to go with preparation of a budget, but that is part of one of the major function of a cost accounting department, preparation and implementation of a good system of budget control within an organization. Of course, standards being set up and they are used for measuring efficiency. If you have a good cost accounting department, efficient cost accounting department, setting standards and using that for controlling the efficiency level is another function that is rendered by cost accounting department. Now that again we learn it as from the a detailed explanation of that will come by learning standard costing techniques. We learn that in future. Then of course a good cost accounting system always will promote the optimal use of resource. You know why? Because each resource within a firm would be limited, especially with respect to limited resources like capital, labor, and other resources. So the system should be so efficient that we are making optimal use of the available resource. The wastage is minimized. The loss is minimized. All that are part of good cost accounting system. Then going with cost audit. Cost audit is done just to find out whether there is some errors which has happened when it was implemented, whether there is some occurrence of fraud within a firm, or whether everything is going as planned. If deviations been notified, then corrective measures should be taken by that particular department, which will be enforced by the cost accounting department. So that again is another function. Of course, we said about price determination. Price determination mainly depends upon cost information. So if a firm is able to provide the cost information accurately, it will definitely be able to price its products rightly. Right. So that again is another important or key ingredient within a good cost accounting system, providing correct, accurate, timely cost information for proceeding with the price determination of a product or service. Right. We stop here. In today's class, we were just looking at the preliminary part of how cost accounting is helping the management for taking various decisions. What are the primary difference between financial accounting and cost accounting, right? We also looked into what are the essential things, essential ingredients within a good or efficiently implemented cost accounting system within an organization. Now, you must be wondering whether it is same for an maybe a small firm as well as a big firm. Of course, this would be same, but only thing is the functions being rendered by the members. Maybe in a big firm, you have each department, each function separate as a separate department. But in a small firm, all of this will be function with one department. If it is a self-proprietary business, there you will see one person performing all these functions together for the firm. So that is the only difference which you can see. But basically, all these are needed for an efficient cost accounting system. So I repeat, our tomorrow's task is we have to go with finding out what are the different categories of cost and how cost can be classified.